So, how this is going to work. First of all, welcome to the intro meeting. I don't have a camera on this particular computer, and I'll just be sharing my screen anyways, so it's not that necessary. This is geography. I'm sure you all are aware. The text for the book, text for the class is Joseph J. Hobbs, World Geography, 3rd edition. You can get the book if you want to. It's not super necessary for the way I'm going to conduct the course, given it's all online. That being said, if you do want to get it, you can get it either used or as an e-text. That's fine. I don't think it's a book you'd want to keep after the class, personally, but that's just me. If you're into that, go right ahead. What I'm going to do, very simply put, is I'm going to create a Zoom lecture for each chapter, and I'm going to go over what I would go over in the physical class. After that is done, I'm going to post that lecture onto the YouTube channel. That I'm going to, every time I do it, I'm going to shoot you an email with a link to the YouTube, as well as a list of questions that you need to get to me before the next class meeting. The questions are going to be taken from the end of each chapter. There are review questions, 10, 12 questions, something like that. I'm going to phrase them in a certain way, hand them out to you. Just respond with an email or a PDF or a Word doc, however you want to do it, with the answers. I'll grade them, get that back to you. That's going to be the homework section, if you will, the test section, if you will, of the class. Pretty straightforward, works out well enough. Answers need to be, if your answer isn't deep enough, I'll let you know. Beyond that, we're going to also have a final. I'll go more in depth throughout the class at what we do with the final, but the final is a presentation. And the final is going to be on the subject of geography, where you pick a location and you present me a, I'll say 15, 20 minute long presentation on the location you've chosen. If that seems confusing at this point, that's understandable. It'll make more sense as we go. In the previous years I've conducted this class, it's went over very well, I would argue. So that's the final. Beyond the homeworks I'm going to assign at the end of each chapter and the final, there's also a participation grade. This is real easy to do in class. Basically, I would talk to you, you'd respond, you'd have a conversation. This class was a 1 3-hour section. And of that 3 hours, I'd probably do an hour and a half of teaching. We have a good hour solid of dialogue. Obviously, that's not going to be the same thing here. I understand that. That's fine. If you're able to make the meetings and you want to have discussions, turn on your mic, have discussions with me about what we're talking about, that'll count as participation. If you cannot make the meetings, I expect you to go to the YouTube comment section and either ask questions or provide opinions on what was covered in the chapter. I see you do that, it'll count. It's going to be a loose grading scheme, i.e. if I never see, well, let's pick one of you here. I never see Mike. Mike never talks in class during the Zoom meetings. Mike, I don't see evidence of Mike commenting in the YouTube section. Well, I'm going to assume Mike is not participating in class, and therefore his grade's going to be lower than it would have been otherwise. I don't know you, Mike. For all I know, you're the most outgoing person in the history of people. That may be true. Does that make sense? Everything I said makes sense? You can comment in the chat or talk. It's up to you. This is the part where you respond.
Yes, it makes sense.
All right, sweet.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so yeah, to be frankly honest with you, you put in the effort, you're getting A. It's not too bad. This class really is neutered by this online because the face-to-face conversations really what makes this interesting and fun. Any questions for me?
What time are the Zoom classes going to be normally?
So that's part of why I wanted to do this. Is in general, are we more of a morning, afternoon, evening? A lot of us probably work. Is there a general time that would fit for most people, or?
I can do any time after about 4.
Okay, so would evenings work best for most people?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I have a kid, so I gotta schedule she's 7 months old, so she kind of is my schedule, you know. But I could probably do evenings, 5:30, 6:30, something like that. That shouldn't be an issue for me. Again, meeting coming to the Zoom meetings isn't mandatory. If you let me know you can't make it and participate in the YouTube section, you'll still get your grades for participation, but you won't enjoy the class as much. And this is a class you can very much enjoy because we're talking about a bunch of different stuff. I guess a couple other things before we end this section. Me personally, I haven't visited every country in the world, obviously, but I've traveled a bit. I spent some time I lived in Japan for a while. I used to do war reenactments in Europe. I did that for many years. So I know a bit, I have a bit of personal experience I'll throw in here and there where it's necessary. And again, part of this is I want you to, if you, for example, have lived in South America, spent a lot of time in South America, and when we talk about South America, you want to input your personal part, the class as a whole will benefit from it. I don't think I have anything else really to cover. Anything else I need to cover? I did an updated syllabus that I sent through email. Did you all get the updated syllabus? I can resend it just to be sure, because the 2015 syllabus, the previous instructor did things I don't do. The previous class had a lot more stuff going on, and I like to be more. I like to have more talk, less writing, because let's face it, at this level, geography is really about the experience of the world more so than can you name me 7 rivers in Pakistan. If you can't name me 7 rivers in Pakistan, but you understand what I mean by Pakistani culture in a broad sense, I'll be happy. And if you can do both, hey, good for you. I'm sure that'll come in useful in Jeopardy someday. But that's all I have, really. Is there anything else at all? Are we good?
Quick question.
Yes.
About how long do you expect the Zoom meetings to go?
So on my YouTube channel, I'll send it again, but on my YouTube channel, I've done the first 4 chapters already.
Oh, okay.
Those lasted about an hour, hour and a half most.
Okay.
That being said, they probably in Zoom things go faster. So also, that reminds me, since I have the first couple of chapters on YouTube already, the first couple meetings aren't going to be lectures. They're going to be just for the conversation. So when I post the Zoom meeting link, I'm going to expect you to have already either read through the book chapter or watched that YouTube video, because it's kind of redundant for me to go over it again if it doesn't need to be gone over again, right? I don't think any of you would find that necessarily better. And I guess another comment on the book, you can do this class without the book if you want to. The book compartmentalizes the information so it's easy to do the assignments well, but all this information is easily found on like Google too. So if you don't have the book and have an issue getting it, that's fine. If you do have the book, your life is easier, if that makes sense. So yeah, the first, I think, 3 or 4 chapters, I gotta check the YouTube channel, are all going to be not a strict lecture as much as they will be a chance for you to ask me questions about something you've already seen. Because with this class, I'm going to make the assumption that you're doing some work outside of what I'm talking about, right? I'm expecting you to have looked over the chapter, at least give it a scan before you do the homework. I'm expecting you to maybe watch some of the video, get a section of that. If there's something that you know really well, if you are an expert on North Africa and you don't need me to tell you nothing, you can answer all the questions 100%, kudos. But these resources are there for you. This class, even when it's in a building, is still rather student-led. I am there to facilitate you. because geography, as we'll get into in the first chapter, geography is a huge subject. It's quite literally everything. It's the kitchen sink. So you'll see it'll be kind of confusing the first couple steps. Online classes always are. You'll get the hang of it. As long as you pay attention, you'll be fine. So anything else?
When is the first meeting, and how many meetings a week will there be?
The first meeting will, so since it's an online class, you're effectively going double time, right? The first meetings will start next week. And I think there are 8 weeks in the summer semester, right? Let me check for sure. Go Gibbik. Yeah, I believe there's 7 or 8 weeks, which means you would have to.
No, I don't ask you that.
Where am I? Spring. Where's the summer calendar? Okay, let's try this again. Summer session. There we go. Yeah, summer session starts June 1st, right? And it goes through July. So we got 8 weeks. We have 11 chapters to cover. So what I'll probably do is since the first 4 chapters or so are already on YouTube, we'll do those as twice a week, just to make sure we get through them all. And then we'll probably do once a week chapters after that. I'll send you an email on the weekend with the week's plan. And then you have up until the first meeting to send me information saying this doesn't work, this does work, let's move it. And things can be moved around accordingly. If no one can make Tuesdays 6 p.m., but everyone would prefer Wednesday, we can move to Wednesday, but that's going to be on you guys to let me know. And as I said already, this stuff's going to be on YouTube after I'm done with it anyways. Does that make sense? That sound good to everyone? Okay. So yeah. I heard something in the background. No? All right. So I guess that'll cover it then. That'll be it. Watch your email. I don't tend to use Moodle because it doesn't add much to the structure of this class. If you want me to use Moodle for X, Y, or Z region, just shoot me an email. I'll build one. It's not built for me like with other class places I've worked for. Yeah, all right. Sounds good. I hope you all have a good summer and enjoy the class. Thank you.
Thank you.